I am smiling because today's show is extraordinary. It is the Speakers of the Year episode. Right? Speakers, more than one. Actually, more than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, no, 6 speakers are included on this list of Speakers of the Year. This has never happened before. Now, I've done 2 in a year or 3, but never 6. And what I was shooting for, now please understand, these are speakers that I covered on this channel this year, 2022. So it's not a popularity contest. It's not everything that's out there. No, I didn't hear everything. These are speakers that I have years on experience with this year. And the price range of the speakers is all over the place, starting at $995 a pair up to $36,000 a pair. That is a wide range. And it isn't really like any one of these is the best one. They are different. And the reason to do it this way is I want to give you guys choices of what would work in your room, with your situation, with your electronics, with the kind of music you listen to, that sort of thing. So it's not about, is this better than that? It's a matter of which one is the right one for you on your journey as an audiophile, assuming you identify as an audiophile. So yeah, it was quite a year, an amazing year. And by the way, speaking of amazing years, yes, there will be an Audiophiliac viewer system of the day at the conclusion of today's show. Just to keep it interesting, just to keep in there, hang in there till the very, very end. But like I said, I just had so much fun exploring these different types of speakers this year. So for example, the first speaker on the list, and the list is not in any particular order. The first speaker on the list is the Magnepan LRS Plus, $995 a pair, made in the USA. An absolutely extraordinary speaker. Now, I've listened to this speaker over this year. I was always listening to this speaker at least a couple of times a month in different situations. And its transparency is absolutely extraordinary. If it was $2,000 a pair or $3,000 a pair, it would still be an extraordinary speaker. But it's $995 a pair. But there's a couple of catches. A, it's pretty hard to drive. It's a very demanding load. Its sensitivity is on the low side. So you need an amplifier that has some juice to it, some guts, to really make it come alive. And the chances of you finding that for anywhere near this kind of money is kind of small, although you could use a shit Vidar power amplifier to make them light up. But the better you feed the LRS Plus, the better it will sound. It is a very revealing speaker of sources. So you can't really cheap out and get what this speaker is capable of. And it's very, very fussy about placement. You cannot jam this speaker near a wall, even a foot away from the wall. No, if you can't do that. No, they have to be 3 feet or maybe even more away from the wall behind them. Side walls is not so fussy, but the wall behind them, give them 3 feet. They're very light, by the way. I don't know what they weigh, but I can easily pick them up and move them around. So if you want, you could just push them up against the wall when you're not listening and then pull them out for serious listening. That's a workaround solution with the LRS Plus. But really, every time I listen to this speaker, I am amazed by what it can do. So that's a great place to start. So if you're on the beginning of the journey and you can meet its demands in terms of power and placement, this is definitely worth your consideration. Oh, it does have one other downside is it's not a powerful sounding speaker. It's not a rock speaker. It's not like gonna kick you in the gut kind of speaker. No, it's not gonna do that. No, it's not do that. If you need that, don't even think, oh, I'll add a subwoofer. Some people do, but it's not what I would recommend. You have to take it on its own merits. So yeah, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts about getting the most out of this speaker, and it's not for everybody. How's that for being fair and balanced? The next speaker on the list is this one, the Ohm Walsh 1000. It is an omnidirectional speaker. It actually is designed to sound best near a wall. And it's different from the Magnepan on so many ways, but yes, you could put this one like 6 inches away from the wall, a foot away from the wall, and it is perfectly happy. If you need to, you can even jam it up against the wall. But anyway, it's an omnidirectional speaker. It radiates sound more or less 360 degrees. It sounds huge and spacious, and the imaging, you don't have to sit exactly in the sweet spot to get the imaging on the speaker. It's just such a room-filling sound. Their price, by the way, I don't want to forget, $2,700 a pair. I believe that each pair they sell is made to order. They have these beautiful veneers. Great company. They really stand behind their products. They have lots of loyal buyers going back forever. I'm so impressed by that speaker. I reviewed one a few years ago. I'm probably going to review a high-end Ohm maybe in 2023. They make a $10,000 or $12,000 model. But this one, as I said, is $2,700 a pair. And I had a big smile on my face for all the time I was listening to that speaker. It's that good. Next on the list is this one, the KEF Reference 3 Meta, a narrow but tall floor-standing speaker with a KEF's UniQ driver and two 6.5-inch woofers. But you know what? I had some guys deliver it to me here, and I felt like these speakers are almost too big for this room, and this room is pretty big. But they had an incredibly powerful presence. I've never had that from a KEF speaker here ever before, and I was completely knocked out. Now, they are designed and made in the UK. Now, that's not true for most KEF speakers, but it is for these. It is for the reference line of KEFs. What else? It's big. Did I say it was big? Yeah, it was so big that I felt compelled to compare it against my then reference speaker here was the Klipsch Cornwall 4s. Large horn speaker with a 15-inch woofer. And I thought, no, I think before I heard the comparison, the Klipsch is bigger. It's going to sound, more dynamic, more powerful, more alive. Actually, it wasn't. I'd say in almost every way, the Reference 3 Meta was the better sounding speaker. Mid-range was better, imaging was better, bass definition and clarity were better. It's an amazing speaker, truly amazing. I didn't know what I was getting into at that one, which is great when it happens, because a lot of times I know in advance kind of where this is going to go. No, this one really did take me by surprise. And I remember listening to it thinking, yeah, this one's going to be on the list. This is definitely Speaker of the Year quality levels. Absolutely. Next, I would like to talk about the Zoo Dirty Weekend 6, the DW6, made in the USA. Prices start at $1,599 a pair. And I say start because the finish options can raise the price, the trim options raise price, crossover options can raise the price, but the base model is $1,599 a pair. This speaker uses a 10-inch full-range driver and a separate super tweeter. Tweeter comes in at I think 12K. So most of the time you're hearing the 10-inch drive. And it's a warm sound, warmer than I've experienced with many other Zoo speakers that have passed through this listening room. I just fell in love with this sound. It was just something that made me want to keep listening to it, right? As I said, the bass is fuller than I'm used to with Zoo speakers. It's a high sensitivity speaker, meaning you can use it with low powered amplifiers, tube or solid state, or an old receiver from 1975 that's 30 watts a channel. They're all welcome here with the DW6. Imaging, because it's basically, you're listening to a point source, is big and spacious and nicely focused. It's a very dynamic speaker. And it's one that sounds good when you really play it loud. Now, I'm not a loud listener by nature. But this one, I kept turning it up because it just sounded better and better and better the louder I played it. And also, like most high sensitivity speakers, it sounded really nice when played very quietly at late night levels. So yes, it absolutely positively deserved a spot on this list. Okay, now I'm going to get to the big guy. Yeah, the Klipsch Jubilee, the new flagship of the Klipsch Heritage line. And like all of its smaller siblings, the Jubilee is made in Hope, Arkansas. Price is $36,000 a pair. This speaker must be bi-amplified. There's no single amplifier option available. It uses a DSP crossover to correct phase and time. It's a very coherent sounding speaker. Now, that big horn on the top is using a 7-inch compression driver with a 5-inch voice coil. That's something. So that horn goes all the way down to 340 hertz. And then the bottom end is handled by two 12-inch woofers that are loaded in a very unusual way. It's a patented loading system for their woofers that Klipsch just introduced with the Jubilee. Yeah, it's a big sounding speaker. It absolutely is. Bass goes down to 18 hertz. The -3 dB point, I should say, is 18 hertz. The mid-range, it does not sound like a horn speaker. It was just one of those wow experiences of just listening to these speakers. I'm still shaken and stirred by the experience. The last one on my list is my new reference speaker. It is the Pure Audio Project Duet 15 Prelude. It is an open baffle speaker, not a box speaker, not a planar magnetic speaker. It's a dipole speaker. Just as much sound is coming out of the rear of the speaker as the front. It's made, well, it's not made in any one place. The baffle itself on my speaker here is birch ply. It is made in upstate New York. The 15-inch woofer is made by Eminence in California. The 8-inch full-range driver is a Voxative. It is made in Germany. And the crossover network is also made in Germany. Price, the price. I should have checked before I turned on the camera, but I believe it's $6,450 a pair. If I'm wrong, I will put a correction below there on the screen. So the Pure Audio Project is here. As my new reference, I packed up and returned the Cornwalls to Klipsch. They were on a long-term loan, and now the loan is complete, and they went back to their maker in Hope, Arkansas. Thank you, Klipsch. And I'm still obviously a huge fan. The Klipsch Jubilee is on this list of my favorite speakers of 2022. And with that, I can say, yeah, let's do it, man. The Audiophiliac viewer system of the day. I like this. It comes from Joe. He lives in Abbotsford, British Columbia, that's Canada, and he has a humble but eclectic system, as he calls it. Anyway, his power amplifier is a Luxman 03, and the preamp is also a Luxman AC03. Two turntables. The first one, the primary turntable, is a Yamaha PF1000 fitted with an Audio-Technica OC9 Mark III cartridge. And then there's the Technics SL1100 with an SME Series 3 arm and a Spectrum MC924 cart. Both turntables are being played through a Fidelity Research FRT-4 toroidal transformer. And those big speakers, those are Technics SB E100. And for CD playback, a Yamaha BDS 677. Thank you, Joe. Okay, we are back. My name is Steve Guttenberg, and I am the Audiophiliac. If you enjoy what I'm doing here on the channel in terms of reviews and special episodes like this one today, and the interviews and the Audiophiliac viewer systems of the day, all that sort of stuff I do here on a regular basis, please consider joining my Patreon. You can do so for a couple of dollars a month, up to $50 or even $100 a month. You can pay in dollars, pounds, and euros. In the top two tiers, I have conversations, one-on-one phone calls with people all over the world, my patrons all over the world. Some of us have become friends. It's so nice to hear from the people who actually watch this channel and get feedback from them. It's a fantastic experience. I was actually making some calls earlier today, and it's a blast. I just love it. Oh, and the Audiophiliac podcast is back in a new revised form. I will link to my personal website for the podcast, but you can listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and iHeartRadio and all of the usual places people hear podcasts. What else? If you like the channel, please hit the like button. Do me a favor. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you have yet to subscribe, please do so. And with that, I can say, yeah, my work here is at last complete. Thank you again for watching, and I really do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.